Hi. Hi there. You're a public speaker, and you know full well that the most powerful part of any speech or any presentation is the stories told within that speech or presentation. So you need to become, if you're not already very good at storytelling, you need to become better. So how can you become better? Let me put this to you. You've read a book, an adventure story, and then Hollywood has later brought out the movie. If you read the book before you saw the movie, you'd be saying, wow, those people weren't like I expected. They've changed the story. The characters aren't quite the same. So what have you done here? When you read that book, you visualized the presentation, the reading of the book. When you saw the movie first, you might think, well, when you read the book, your memory is directed to the movie, and you're thinking it's not quite the same. In other words, you're analysing to a certain degree what you're reading. You're not fully engrossed in the book to the same extent that you were when you'd read the book before you saw the movie. Now, when you were reading that book, whether you realised it or not, pictures were being put into your mind. From the words on the page, you were creating the pictures. They weren't being shown to you. When you watch a movie or see a live play, you are being shown what's happening. Therefore, this business about having to create the pictures in your mind is not there. When you're shown something, it's not the same as being told something. Now, I want you to understand that when you're being told something, it is not a directive. It is not an order. That's just one interpretation of that word, telling. No, when you are being told a story, the story is being related to you with words, with perhaps gestures, perhaps even sound effects. I know I use sound effects in my stories, and I know it helps enhance the story by putting even more realistic pictures or imaginative pictures into the minds of my audience. I've been telling stories for over 40 years. About 10 years, 15, maybe even longer ago, people started referring to me as a Master Storyteller. Now, whether I'm a master of story, I don't know, but I've had this happen. I've told the story of the Titanic on its maiden voyage and its sinking to many audiences over many years. Many people have seen the movie. Actually, I've seen 3 movies on the Titanic. But you can imagine how I felt when one of the persons came up to me and said, Tom, that was better than the movie. That was better than the movie. Now that to me is a huge compliment. But what were they doing? They were creating pictures in their mind, possibly different from the stories they'd seen on the movie, because I didn't cover exactly the same ground. I covered more the drama of the thing, the distress messages which went astray, the distress messages which were picked up. I used all the sound effects, and hence, Tom, that was better than the movie. So what's this got to do with you? If you want to be the best storyteller that you can be, read adventure stories. Read those things that you can picture in your mind as you are reading them, because you are creating your ability to be able to visualize things. It will become almost automatic that when you are telling a story, you are immersed yourself in that story. You are part of it. You jump in and out of the story, if it's a long story, by asking questions of the audience perhaps, or giving a quick explanation. But every time you are telling the story itself, you are in it. And you are developing this business about becoming a really masterful storyteller. So to reiterate, read books that create in your mind visualization. Tell stories as much as you can so that the practice becomes even more perfect. And before you know it, people will be looking to you, not just as a speaker. They'll call you a speaker, but really, deep down, you'll be a master of storytelling.